think I didn't sleep for maybe a year. It bored the hell out of me. I might have been chemically altered when I saw this movie. Everything about it, this is kind of a perfect movie. This is ridiculous. This is too many. This is too many. Hello, I'm Paul Giamatti, and I am a professional entertainer, and I'm here in the Criterion closet, and I'm just gonna dive in and start looking around. I see right off the bat is something that I love very much, which is the movie Carnival of Soul. I love this movie. It's the first movie I ever remember seeing when I was 4 years old. I was left on my own with a babysitter. My entire family, my parents and brother and sister abandoned me. I was with a babysitter who thought it was a good idea for us to watch this on the local New York affiliate WPIX Chiller Theater. And I went through an entire bag of Tootsie Pops while I watched this at 4 years old, which probably only jacked me up all the more and made it even more exciting. But it scared the crap out of me. And I think I didn't sleep for maybe a year. It's probably only a few days, but it felt like a year. And my parents never hired that babysitter again. But it was an amazing experience, and it's an amazing movie.
This is the shocking story of a who crawled from the river to race through a nightmare, walking a tightrope between heaven and hell. From the unreal, she crashes through to reality.
I see another wonderful movie here that I love very much. The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. It has a wonderful actor in it that I love very much named Anton Walbrook, who I don't think did a whole lot of movies, but he's great in this movie. And this has an incredible sequence in the middle of it that I love very much. This British soldier is challenged to a duel by a German soldier, and there's this great sequence that builds up to this wonderful duel. It's a very funny movie. It's a very moving movie. It's a big, expansive sort of epic movie, a kind of British history from sort of the beginning of the 19th century for the Second World War. But I love that dueling.
Ready!
Rashomon. It's the only movie that makes me cry when I see it. It's hard to make me cry. It's like blood from a stone. But this movie, for some reason, at the end, a very sort of poetic ending, comes out of nowhere. It's a really beautiful movie, and the end of it always gets me.
私は世にも恐ろしい地獄を見た。盗賊、美女、死霊、そしてソマウリ。4つの口が物語る4つの地獄の声を聞かされた。
I guess this is always a thing that I love. Solaris. I'm a great admirer of the guy who wrote the book it's based on, Stanislaw Lem, a Polish science fiction writer. And I'd been wanting to see this movie because I'd heard it existed. In the early 90s, I found a copy of it at a video store out in Seattle and watched it. It bored the hell out of me. I didn't know what the hell I was watching, and it blew my mind. There's like a 10-minute sequence of just driving in this movie through the window. And over the years, though, I revisited it and came to love it very much. Love all of his movies. But I like this one in particular, and there's fantastic sort of production design of kind of a crappy spaceship that they all live on. I often wonder how I feel about the very final shot of this movie, which I won't give away, but I sometimes feel like maybe it wasn't necessary, the final shot. If Andrei Tarkovsky were around, I would question him.
Галлюцинации. А кто приходил? Она умерла 10 лет тому назад.
I'm a big fan of these Val Lewton horror movies. Cat People, the sequel to it. He was a producer. This guy Val Lewton made this series of movies. I don't know, 6 of them, 7 of them, something like that. Boris Karloff was in some of them. But I love these movies because they're very low budget, and they're this amazing example of doing all this extraordinary stuff with absolutely nothing and creating these incredibly scary effects in them. They all have these gripping, great, almost kind of iconic moments, all these movies that he produced, of sort of classic horror moments. And they're strange, too. They're all sort of on these sets. It all feels very sort of unreal and dreamlike. These movies, this one in particular, it's really a great movie.
It's been so long.
This is also one of my favorite movies. I'm a big fan of Frankenheimer's movies, The Manchurian Candidate and 7 Days in May and The Train. And this movie, I remember seeing the first time I ever saw it. I might have been chemically altered when I saw this movie, so I can't really speak to whether I saw it really as one should be seeing it, but it made the hugest impression on me. But one of the things I really love about this movie is it's one of the greatest examples of what a terrific actor can do in a small, tiny supporting part. There's an actor named Murray Hamilton in it who played the mayor in Jaws. And he appears in the end of this movie for 2 minutes, maybe, not even, and he barely speaks. And it's one of my favorite performances in any movie. He's incredible in this movie, and it's such a fine example of what a great actor can do in a tiny part.
Something wrong?
No.
That phone call last night?
I had to find out where I went wrong.
I've been assigned to go over the circumstances of your death with you. What?
This is the movie that I think, for better or worse, kind of really pushed me over the edge and made me go, I want to be an actor. Everything about it, this is kind of a perfect movie, actually. And I saw it recently again. I hadn't seen it in ages, and one of the things that surprised me about it, I've maybe only seen it a few times since I first saw it. One of the things that surprised me was I thought, it actually has a real story to it. I'd never paid attention to the fact that it has this kind of very great, simple, kind of noir story to it. I'd never paid that much attention to the story because I get so caught up in all the wonderful detail and the wonderful acting in it. If you held a gun to my head and said, what's your favorite performance in any movie? I would say Dennis Hopper as Frank Booth in this movie. He achieved something just off the charts amazing. But I mean, everybody's great in it. Kyle MacLachlan's great in it. I keep talking a lot about the acting in movies, and acting's not the only thing that floats a movie along, but this is like, I love this.
Are you the one that found me here?
You know anything?
Well, one name that keeps coming up is this woman's singer.
I'll bet someone could learn a lot by getting into that woman's apartment.
This is interesting. This woman, Larissa Shepitko, I've only seen this movie Wings, but Wings is an amazing movie. It's a beautiful movie, and this fantastic actress in it plays a kind of Soviet hero of the sort of Air Force, Soviet Air Force, and her life is kind of dreary, and she has this sort of fraught relationship with her daughter. It's one of these things I don't even understand how she got this made in the Soviet Union, because it seems sort of critical in some ways but there's incredible sort of poetry in it. There's all this great way she uses the flying in it and stuff to talk about this woman's interior life, and it's really a beautiful movie. But I've never seen the other movie she made, so I guess now's my time. Now's my opportunity. This is ridiculous. This is too many. This is too many.
We can see throughout her oeuvre, in Wings and The Ascent in particular, that she is promoting stories that do not comply with the traditional approaches to telling stories about the war. She is very invested in issues of moral dilemmas and ethical questions.
And this was very kind of the Criterion people to allow me in here to indulge myself. So thanks a lot.